Hello. Hopefully you can hear me. Thank you for the 5 thumbs up already. That's very generous. Um, I'm gonna pause. Well, I'm gonna keep talking, but hopefully someone can give me a thing in the chat to confirm that you can hear me. Okay. Um, so broadcasting to you live from Denver, Colorado, Colorado's capital. Thank you very much, Colette. Uh, I am in Denver, Colorado, because I am in Zamboni driving school. This was day 3 of Zamboni driving school. And so that I am learning how to operate the famous Zamboni ice resurfacing machines at the wonderful arena just down the way. And so, yeah, thank you. My playoff beard is going quite well. This is my offering to the hockey gods. I am gonna grow my beard, no matter. I'm gonna grow my beard no matter what until a team. It doesn't matter what team, but till a team wins the Stanley Cup. I would prefer, as Mike G mentioned in chat, that would be the Wild. Right now, it looks like the Wild maybe are outplaying what I had expected against the Stars. So that's super, super fun. Growing a playoff beard in Arizona is not always the smartest move, but I'm in Denver right now, where it is in the wonderful imperial units of Fahrenheit, 53 degrees. It's very cool. I'm in this like Airbnb sort of, it's the roof angles. You might be able to see that this is like I guess they call these carriage houses. So, so like there's kind of a nice-ish little living room area here, and this is above where you would have, I guess, in the 1800s or before cars, stored a carriage. And so, so yeah, this is that's commitment, Ruth. But yeah, so it's a cool cool place for me to stay. The Airbnb host is super awesome. And then I'm in like, I guess I'm in like the Capitol Hill kind of area, and people are out walking their dogs, and dogs are amazing. So so that's been kind of fun. Yeah, the plants are very do nothing project sort of inspired. They're like very giant leaves and like Jurassic Park kind of quality to them. So I feel like they're kind of like the last place that Jeff and Sarah and family were at before they went out west. So that's pretty cool. So if you don't know who I am, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and you think you've tuned into a live stream about the wonderful art of ice resurfacing, don't worry. We're here to meditate. And we'll be meditating for about 25 minutes. If you don't know who I am, my name is Andrew. I'm a certified mindfulness meditation coach. Most folks will know me as being the sometimes guest host and most times moderator for the Do Nothing Project. And we have been meditating now for a couple of years on Wednesdays. And the format is usually that we're going to do some technique for about 20-ish minutes of our 25 minutes. And then the last 5 minutes, we're going to let go of that technique and do nothing. And the idea really is to get a experiential comparison to effort versus non-effort, or effort compared with. We shouldn't say versus as much. It's not that the two things are antagonizing in any way, but it's this notion of effort and non-effort. So, and I don't have necessarily the Zamboni meditation. Jeff was very much hoping that I was going to have a Zamboni meditation for theme for tonight. So he said, "Please tell me that you're doing a Zamboni meditation." So yes, Frank Zamboni, Frank J, I think Zamboni, invented in 1949. It was invented in Paramount, California. That's a bar bet I used to win money on, or drinks on. because most folks will imagine that Zamboni is Canadian. Although, yes, Zenboni, very well done, Mike G. But Zamboni does do a bunch of manufacturing in Canada. So I think one of the machines that I've been practicing the controls on is made in Canada. The other one was made in the United States that we've been driving. I'll get pictures and stuff out into the newsletter at some point. So Saban asked how long will I be in Denver. So our final exam is tomorrow, and then after the final exam, I'm going to be hopping in my car and heading back towards the Phoenix area. So this program, believe it or not, so it really is like, I don't think they can call it Zamboni Driving School, but although I think it's called something like Zamboni Pro Academy. I call it Zamboni Driving School because that's more entertaining. But the idea would be that I would be able to drive professionally, Paul. To answer your question, so the notion we're being trained as though we would be operating a Zamboni for a rink, and that we would be primary, like sort of the primary person on staff, and then that includes trying to understand how much ice is out there and like how much you would take down. And like, I'm impressed with how much detail there is around all of it. I had absolutely no idea that it was that it was just like, I want to do this. And I had no idea that there was this sort of deep end of things around there. So yes, another skill. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of opportunities in Tucson, but it does sound like there's going to be a new ice complex that'll open in like a year and a half or so. And so I'm kind of wondering if I can, so I'm going to be certified. There's a lot of muscle memory associated with it. So you've got a lot of levers and things you've got to remember. So being very clear and mindful and aware of yourself is a great thing to have involved. So it's like a steampunk tractor that makes ice. So it is, and if the few people in the class, I'm in a class of 5. The people that are doing really well are the ones who've driven tractors or mowed lawns. So those are very good adjacent skills for making ice. So which is another funny kind of thing. So yeah, so mindfulness coach, Zamboni driver, perfect. All right, so what are we gonna do? We got 25 minutes. For me, I'm gonna sort of usurp my plan, and we're gonna do likely feel rest, just because I'm trying to stay calm at the moment. I've had a lot going on in the last month-ish time frame, and so this is one of those like, why not things. When I found out that Zamboni Driving School existed, I went ahead and I should come, and I would like to find a small rink where I could drive more. That would be like a super super sort of fun thing. I've been trying to figure out some of the smaller rinks though won't keep ice during the summer. So some of the places that might be willing to hire somebody who just graduated a 4-day thing are probably not going to keep ice necessarily for the winter. But yeah, Deb, I'd love that. So feel rest is going to be our technique. So that means we're going to be focused on the physical body and emotional body. And then we're looking for if rest applies. So there's sort of a pleasant, restful sensation, or we can think of rest also as there was activation in the body, and now that activation has dissipated or reduced. So that would give us rest as well. So I may have some feeling of rest around the where my rib cage moves for the breath, and so it's an area that maybe the movement will give me a little bit of restful sensations. I may have some activation in my shoulders, and then the activation goes away. And that would be potentially another area of restful sensation. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Um, I won't be able to pair a meditation with like the monster truck meditation that I did for filling in for Jeff, which is one of Jeff's favorites, which I did not necessarily expect. So thanks for being here. Thanks for indulging my wild adventures in ice resurfacing. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't have a bell with me. So I'm going to go ahead and just start our time. And we'll begin bellless. So if you get a chance here to establish your posture as we begin, you can be seated in a chair, on a cushion, or a bench. And we're looking for an upright spine. So upright without necessarily being uptight, allowing for the natural curvature of the spine. And you could be standing or lying down, even walking. And I trust that you'll be able to adapt those postures to the guidance that I'm offering. Eyes open or closed, your choice. And just checking in kind of what is the inner weather like? And we're not chasing that away, or we're not trying to change the weather, just seeing what it's like. So as I check in a little bit, I can kind of feel a little bit of the frazzledness for things. So after I got done with my class and stuff, things were kind of frustrating as I was trying to do a few tasks, and I sort of got to this point of very low patience. So I can still feel a bit of that frazzledness, just taking kind of a sampling, like checking out what is it like. And then a few deliberate breaths. Slow and low is the tempo we're going for. Breathing in through the nose allows us to slow that breath down, sinking low into the belly. And as that inhale turns around and becomes the exhale, seeing if we can extend it. And if you want, just sort of lingering in these deliberate breaths for a moment. And this is usually when the thought is triggered, why don't I just breathe more? Why don't I just do a few deliberate breaths a little more throughout my day? And then shifting into our technique again, feel rest. So our focus range is feel, emotional body, physical body, rest if available, pleasant relaxation sensations or activation that is reduced. Both of those or all of that qualifies as rest. And we're using a noting structure. So our instruction set is to notice where within the feel focus range the attention is landing. soaking our attention into where it has landed, and then optionally labeling feel, and if available, rest. Can be helpful to find a sort of inner metronome of noting cadence. And then the last thing I'll offer before I let you explore on your own is just this notion that our attention may land outside of the focus range. We may be pulled away by sounds, sounds in my environment, sounds in your environment. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. When we notice the sort of magic of realizing, oh, I'm not in my focus range, that moment then of bringing our attention back and doing so, if possible, with some compassion and care, resetting and beginning again. So let you explore on your own, feel rest. So if you're not finding any rest available and you want to sort of create rest, you can try a cyclic sigh, which is you inhale twice. So it's an inhale, inhale again, and then exhale. So it's a sort of like a double inhale, like a you can breathe out through the mouth if you want. You can do it kind of with a straw breath, kind of like you're almost whistling, but not quite. Or you can breathe out through the nose. So that double inhale, that sometimes called cyclic sigh, can sometimes create a relaxation. You can feel that relaxation sometimes in the front of the body or maybe in the back or around the spine, maybe in the rib cage. So that'd be one way for you to create a bit of rest if you're frustrated by its unavailability. And then feeling empowered to reset. So stretch up, settle back into the posture. And again, also taking a few deliberate breaths. So we don't want to do so much that it feels like we've turned our meditation into breath work, but if we do, I guess it's not the end of the world. But just feeling like you're not stuck, sort of like a statue. Just offering that. Allow you to continue on your own now. Okay, so here is a decision point. This is your sit. You can decide. If you feel like you're in a groove with feel rest and you want to continue with that, you can choose to do that. But this is the opportunity where I offer you the choice of putting aside our technique, so feel rest with care, and moving into the do nothing portion of our sit. And with do nothing, we're letting go of the intention to control our attention. Put simply, we're sitting and knowing that we're sitting. And one of the sort of delights of do nothing is the naturalness of how knowing happens. So you want to lean into that a little bit today. So you don't have to do anything to know that you're sitting. So that's the little bit of the magic there. So my voice is your bell. This is the end of our practice. Thank you for your practice. Let's see if I can remember my dedication to merit. I don't have it visible to me like I normally do. May any merit generated during our practice go to benefit of all beings. To go for the benefit of all beings. May our actions be for the benefit of all beings. Thank you. I hope that was a good sit for folks. If it wasn't, hopefully it was a sit. Uh, Sometimes the difficult sits are actually beneficial in the notion of skill training. So it occurred to me while I was sitting here that there's a Hot Point fridge, the Hot Point brand fridge here in the space I'm in, and it fired up kind of a la the industrial fridge when Jeff used to practice at the coffee shop in the summers. And I was thinking that notion of rest when the fridge is on and it's kind of become part of you're aware that the fridge is there, and then when the fridge shuts off, that is kind of a notion of that the fridge on is activation and the fridge shutting off is the rest. So I think that so anyway, if that resonates with you, awesome. If it doesn't, no big deal. So thanks for all the thumbs up. Thanks for the reminder to Paul, thanks for Paul for your reminder. Words. um, so oh, thank you so much, Saban. I agree, Bill. And then I think I was a little out of it, so I did not say hi to everybody, but thanks to everyone for being here today in the middle of your week. Thanks for the folks that watch the recording. I see you, so thank you. Feel free to comment in the comments too if you have questions or anything came up in your time in the recording. You can feel free to comment, and I will get to your response. I think most folks here are getting the emails. But I'm going to put in a notion here for the email. There's 2 reminder emails. I only sent 1 this week. Thank you for your patience. I totally forgot about it yesterday. And it just happened to be a friend of mine that we've traveled with in the past. We traveled to Antarctica with and to the stands, happened to be in Denver. And so I got a chance to grab coffee and talk with them, and then we managed to get some dinner last night, and that meant that I completely forgot to do the scheduling of the email and everything. That was my plan in the afternoon after driving around heavy machinery, was to do that, and I didn't. So but it was pretty amazing to meet up with a friend, although in a it happens chance place that I wouldn't have expected it. So that was super, super cool. And then I don't have any necessarily meditation news. I did say that there is the possibility of doing our random draw deck for May. I think I got like 1 person who thought that was a good idea, but I'm gonna go with it. So hopefully folks are okay with that. What I may do is pare down the cards, and we may kind of do the like meditation version of like 3-card Monty, and I may pull up like 3 cards, and we'll just shuffle those 3 cards, and we'll random draw one of the 3 cards, and then that gives us a little bit of that gives me as the meditation guide or the meditation coach the ability to kind of say like, okay, we're gonna do something in this of these 3 things. So that's my variation I'm putting out there. And then the reason I put in my the email is my plug is I will I have one of the people that is in the Zamboni class with me, super interesting guy. He videoed me today, so I've got video of me driving the Zamboni around, video of me making mistakes. So I'm going to include some video and pictures of my super amazing, feels like once in a lifetime experience of operating heavy machinery. So I think when I teased what I was doing last week, a couple of people had asked about like, please pictures, please. And so I'm making good on that, but it won't be until next week's newsletter. So I'll get that out. Yeah. So some of the people I heard was the rule number one of Zamboni driving: don't drive through the end boards. And so um, it's really funny because I'm one of those people that is like maybe a little too hyper observant. I notice stuff, and so I've been watching the AHL Zamboni drivers when they make ice at the after the pregame skate, and then in the period in between the intermissions. And so now I've noticed some things they do, and now I know why they do it. So I never really like linked the two things kind of together. And there's somewhere in there there's a magical coaching insight that I just haven't figured out how to put in there yet. But it's like one of those things where you see people that are doing something and you notice that they do it, but you don't necessarily know why they do it. And now I have some of those things. So you can damage the boards. The most likely way that you would damage the boards is the Zamboni doors. There's always every rink's going to have what they refer to as Zamboni doors. They're the bigger doors that open up to allow the Zamboni on. So you could damage the boards if you hit those. And when you're going around the outside, you could hit those. And then if you were to run straight into the end boards, you could move the actual board structure, the boards in that regard. But in general, there's a big bushing. If you look at a Zamboni on the left side, you make like only right-hand turns. So like I think in NASCAR, you make only left-hand turns, and in Zamboni world, you'll make only right-hand turns. So I got a sticker from an aerospace museum here in town called Wings Over the Rockies, and it says turn right, and it's giving the aeronautic thing for turn right. But for me, it's like a Zamboni joke because you only turn right in Zamboni. Um, but yeah, so there's a bushing, and that bushing will follow the board and it will spin. So you can kind of, if you're gentle, you can catch the board and then allow that to roll, and that'll give you a really tight following around it. So yeah, I should stop talking about this because I could talk way too much about this. Like I am so utterly enamored with this. Like I don't want to. I mean, obviously I paid to do this. But now I'm like, how do I do this more? And so I kind of now understand golfers. I didn't really ever really understand golfing, to be really honest. But yeah, so like if you get obsessed with, I can see how people get obsessed with golfing and then they just want to do more of it, or fishing. And so now I have a thing like that, but it just happens to be Zamboni driving. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna find a way to do more of this. But yeah, so I'm thoroughly enamored. I am utterly delighted in the bucket list quality of all this. So it's super amazing. And then I did a draft of trying to write up a little bit about when I do my off ice official stuff, how I'm having to like pull apart the strands of hockey to observe certain things, like certain events. And I'm trying to think of that, like I'm trying to make a version of that is like seen through the notion of awareness and mindfulness. It's not working out super great at the moment, but we'll see. So maybe if I get a non-embarrassing version of this draft, I'll send it to you, Ruth, and you can tell me if it's super embarrassing or just embarrassing. So, all right. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you so much, and yeah, May is almost here, believe it or not. So if you have your Mayday poll, I hope you can get that up without incident. Your Mayday poll, and yeah, those are a thing, right? I remember those being a thing. Oh, that's right. That's right. I will be doing a meditation on May 4th. So I will do a meditation. So or the plan is that I will do a meditation on May 4th, and I think May 4th is Tuesday. No, it's Monday. Okay. So I am going to do a meditation on May 4th. that meditation may be a mantra meditation. I haven't totally decided yet, or it may be there's a meditation that Ray does in the night and episode 9 that I've been playing around with. That's all around connection. So yes, thank you, Ruth. That's Monday. So I am going to do a meditation on Monday. I won't. Whenever I figure out what time I'm going to do it, I will let you know about that, and it won't conflict with CEC. So that, and if you miss it, no big deal. It'll be recorded, and then I'll pluck it out of the mass of live streams for this channel, and then that'll get included in your Tuesday. So if you miss it, no big deal. It'll get included in Tuesday. But yes, so that was a special request from a friend who doesn't always attend on Wednesdays. Shame on them. But yeah, they said, "Are you going to do a special May the 4th be with you?" And I said, "Well, sure, I could." So I will. So yeah, I do have news. All right. Have a great rest of your week, like I said. And yeah, we'll see you.